We've got another exclusive for you this week. We talk with friend of Taiwan, Slovakian MEP Ivan Štefanec about why Slovakia has sent a groundbreaking 43-member delegation to Taiwan.
EU-China expert ZsuZsa Ferenczy tells us about the EU's latest move to counter China's economic coercion of Lithuania for embracing Taiwan.
Emma Benack takes you to an exhibit highlighting the challenges women face in today's society.
Finally, in Hashtag Taiwan, Leslie Liao dives into the world of NFTs in Taiwan. This is Taiwan Insider. Taiwan is hosting a large economic delegation from Slovakia this week. Let's take a look.
It's an unusual but very welcome sight. Slovakian and Taiwanese officials mingle together in a room. A 43-person delegation from Slovakia is visiting Taiwan. Among them are 18 senior officials and 25 business people. They're here to discuss how to strengthen ties between the two countries. Leading the Slovakian group is the country's Deputy Economic Minister Karol Galik. That's monumental because it's the highest level visit from Slovakia since the country opened a representative office in Taiwan in 2003. On Tuesday, the delegation met with Taiwanese officials to discuss investment opportunities. Slovakian Foreign Ministry official Lucia Kish said her country was committed to working together with Taiwan.
The fact that we are here today, despite the pandemic, is because we're determined and committed to work together with Taiwan. This means focusing on concrete joint projects, investment that bring added value and benefit us both.
Meanwhile, Galik said Slovakia supports Taiwan.
And support, and would like to say that Slovakia is ready to become an equal partner. And not only in good, but also in hard times, as the current pandemic situation is. Slovakia supports Taiwan.
On the Taiwan side, head of the National Development Council, Gong Mingxin, who just visited Slovakia in October, said continued mutual visits will propagate what he called a virtuous cycle. Gong added that Taiwan had invested over 500 million euros in Slovakia, creating 3,000 jobs there. Prior to this Slovakian visit, parliamentarians from the Baltic states Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia were in Taiwan for a parliamentary forum. With such diplomatic successes, one can't help but wonder which EU country will be next to strike a deal with Taiwan.
This is a landmark delegation, but not the first one from Slovakia. Slovakian member of European Parliament Ivan Štefanec led a parliamentary delegation here in 2011 as the chair of the Parliament's Taiwan Friendship Group. He's been playing a big role in building Taiwan-Slovakia ties. Now, I asked him why Slovakia sent such a high-profile delegation to Taiwan this week.
So thank you very much for your kind invitation. First of all, I'm really very pleased to talk to you. I'm very proud of our relationship with Taiwan, and recently your foreign minister, Mr. Joseph Wu, visited Taiwan with a really strong delegation, signing 7 memorandum of understanding, trying to enhance our great cooperation. Taiwan is one of the most important investors in my country. We would like to enhance this great cooperation. Therefore, based on my knowledge, it's first time when official governmental plane from EU country landed to Taiwan. So I'm very proud of that. And the reason is to improve cooperation also in terms of industry, science park, in supply chain. So we are a very industrial country. We see a lot of potential. We can learn from each other, and I think the official state visit now, it is the best evidence that there is a serious attempt from our country to improve even this cooperation.
Well, that's wonderful. We're very happy about the strengthening of ties. Now, with this elevation of official visits, is Slovakia concerned that China may retaliate against your country?
Yes, it's a matter of fact that China protests all the time. I remember when I was visiting your beautiful country, when I proposed at the time in the national parliament as first country from Schengen area that we should have a visa-free regime, and we succeeded. So even at that time, China protested. Now China protests as well. But this is just the diplomatic manner. So we have to go on. Now I'm based in Brussels in the European Parliament, and we try to improve also our relationship from a European point of view. I have to say that never ever before was in the European Parliament such a good atmosphere, pro-Taiwanese atmosphere. And the evidence is that recently also we adopted a very favorable pro-Taiwanese resolution asking European Commission to start bilateral investment agreement. I think it's really time to start also this negotiation, because there is a lot of potential and democracies should cooperate. We should support Taiwan and not China. I'm not saying that we should ignore China. We have to also develop economical relations with all the partners, but in terms of value-based relations, we share the same values. Therefore, I see much more potential enhancing relationship with countries like Taiwan. You know, China lost a little bit credibility with coronavirus in the European Union, and therefore more and more people are aware of the fact that we have to cooperate with friends who are really true friends, who don't hide information, who are able to help. So once again, based on my personal experience from European Parliament, I can assure you that you have a lot of friends on the European level. So this is not only between Slovakia and Taiwan, but this is really between European Union and Taiwan. This, I would say, big potential for next cooperation.
Well, that's wonderful. And I know that you have been a friend of Taiwan for many years. You were head of the Slovakian and Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce and also the parliamentary group for friendship between the two countries. What has attracted you to Taiwan?
Well, I have to say personal relationship to Taiwan because my daughter-in-law is coming from Taiwan.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah. I'm very, very close to Taiwan. I visit regularly your beautiful country. And if we cooperate economically together, it is win-win. So you have a lot of friends in Slovakia and in Europe, so be aware of that. Good luck, stay healthy.
It's great to speak with friends from Europe, and the whole interview will be up on YouTube and Facebook. Now, China has been blocking Lithuanian exports this week because of their engagement of Taiwan. And on Wednesday, Europe introduced an anti-coercion instrument to deal with this type of coercion from China. Now, I spoke with an EU-China expert, ZsuZsa Ferenczy, who is based here now in Taiwan as a guest lecturer at National Donghua University. She was a former political advisor for the EU Parliament. I asked her about this instrument.
Weaponizing trade is something that all member states realize and recognize and agree that is something that needs to be addressed on a European level. Once this becomes law, it will equip the EU to protect itself and to become more resilient and to remain open, because I think that's important, that the EU's measures that we've seen take in the past 5-6 years, these were measures to react to Chinese aggression or Chinese coercion. These measures are meant to ensure that the EU remains an open economy. I think this is an important point to highlight.
Taiwan has been facing a lot of military and political pressure from China. We do appreciate the support that the EU has been showing in recent months. Do you think that the EU will be willing to play a role in deterring China from intimidating Taiwan?
I think the EU is already playing a role in trying to send a signal that Taiwan is not alone. This was the message that the delegation from the European Parliament passed on to the president of Taiwan and also to the people of Taiwan, to make it clear that Taiwan is not alone. Taiwan already has those friends in Europe who would be willing to step up their support in case there was a situation that required increased attention. I think at the moment, by placing Taiwan at the core of its Indo-Pacific strategy, I think it's also very indicative of how the European Union sees Taiwan. It sees Taiwan as a strategic value. The EU has not moved away from its one China policy, but what has changed is the willingness of member states to say that it is their right to cooperate with Taiwan. And this is in no violation of their one China policy. This is a big change, and this is tangible, this is real, and I think this is not something that we will be seeing reversed. And I don't think there's any readiness to reverse this emerging dynamic.
Now, as Taiwan opens back up from the clutches of a recent COVID-19 outbreak, more and more events are taking place. Now, RTI's very own Emma Benack recently went to Taiwan's National Theater to check out an exhibit about gender roles and how they affect women. She's got the report for you right here.
The National Theater and Concert Hall hosts a 2-year residency program for distinguished artists. Harrison Kay and I met with one of the artists, Huang Yuqing, who used her art to delve into the Me Too movement and unspoken gender rules that frame everyday life.
我们以为现在的性别已经很平等了，就是包括我现在坐在这边都是一个证明，就是有女性艺术家被看见，所以应该已经很平等了。可是到底还有什么很幽微的地方？
Huang is trying to lead this discussion through her exhibition called 2 Rooms of One's Own. This idea was inspired by Virginia Woolf's book, A Room of One's Own, and how Huang deeply empathized with Woolf's descriptions of the trauma and pressures that many women face. Visitors can only access the key to the exhibit after they answer a question prompted by Woolf's book. If a woman needs to have her own money and room to be able to truly write, how much money does she need? The exhibit has 2 rooms. The first displays the more superficial values or areas where we see that women may already have everything they need, while the second room lets visitors experience the more hidden demands and pressures still unfairly placed on women.
就是艺术都比较情感，比较感性，比较主观。可是这次我就想试试看，我想要先去了解，不管是小说、报道、文学，或者是哲学的论述，这些我都先看，然后先上课。就是我想要先让我自己在这一年都接触这些东西。
Stepping into the second room alone is meant to be an individual experience, so we'll leave that a surprise for exhibit visitors. Huang says that the Me Too movement can't encompass all of her exhibit's message. Besides the hidden abuse that so many women suffer, Huang also wants to look at how these women handled their personal feelings, and then manage to continue to grow and move past the pain. Huang hopes that everyone who comes to the exhibit can start to consider the way that gender affects our daily lives and the way we judge and respect others. Her exhibit, 2 Rooms of One's Own, will be open at the National Theater until December 12th. Hi, I'm Emma, and I'm filling in for Stash today. Next up, Leslie talks about what NFTs are and how they're showing up in Taiwan.
This week, we're going to be talking about NFTs. NFT stands for non-fungible token. In simple terms, fungible describes something that can be used interchangeably. NFTs are unique digital tokens, with each NFT symbolizing ownership of a certain something. NFTs use the same technology as cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum. NFTs are most used in the trade of digital art. Very simply, having an NFT for an artwork means you own that art. It's yours. At least, that's what crypto proponents advocate. But I just want to stress, I am simplifying NFTs, cryptocurrency, blockchain technologies by a whole lot. But the reason why we're talking about NFTs this week is because in past weeks, a lot of news stories have centered around NFTs, and there's been a lot of online discussion about what they are, what they do, and what people do with them. So back in 2018, a naturalized Taiwanese citizen named Paul Farrell made the news when he went out one night, drank, and decided it was a good idea to get a tattoo of the word Taiwan on his forehead and then a Taiwan independence flag tattooed on his chin. Then, on June 21st this year, he turned an image of himself with the tattoos into an NFT. People may be able to download the image, but in theory, the true owner is the person who has the NFT. Now, Farrell says he's gotten his tattoos removed, so he can't make any more pictures with himself of the tattoo, if that makes sense. Then, in November, a popular restaurant in northern Taiwan launched NFTs for pictures of their fried chicken, broccoli, squid, and other dishes. The price of the NFTs of the pictures of these foods started at 1 OSD, which is equivalent to $1. When I browse the platform where these NFTs are being traded, I see these pictures of broccoli and fried chicken being bought and sold for as much as $50. In fact, one NFT depicting chicken skin, which is fried chicken skin, sold for $150. Like someone paid that much money for a picture of fried chicken skin, which, good for you. You have disposable income. Yay! I myself am trying to wrap my head around how NFTs might apply to my life and my existence and how it might impact my future, but that said, I'm not ready to dive headfirst into this trend just yet. And earlier this week, I saw a story on the Taiwanese social media platform Dcard, which made me realize I'm not the only one. On the platform, an anonymous user says that her boyfriend has been trading NFTs. One day, her boyfriend told her that he was really happy because he purchased a really rare NFT, which was for a picture of cartoon monkeys. She asked how much it cost him, and he said close to 100,000 new Taiwan dollars, which is about $3,600. She asked him why he would pay that much for a picture of monkeys, and he said it could be used for investment or as a status symbol. She expressed worry because the two of them planned on getting married next year. She admitted that he makes more than her, but she didn't think that he made enough money to justify buying that NFT. She said she's pretty thrifty and that she saves money so that she can live a comfortable life. She said she's in a really difficult spot and asked users on Dcard for clarification on the significance of the NFTs and why her boyfriend would do such a thing. That is a really difficult spot to be in, and I feel for her because I feel like my understanding of NFTs is closer to that of hers than her boyfriend's. But then again, you have people leaving comments like the Singaporean singer Jarek, who said, 100 grand? Are you sure your boyfriend didn't get scammed? That NFT is worth way more than 100 grand. Then Taiwanese singer Nine Chen left a comment saying, I'm sorry, but I've already spent 10 million new Taiwan dollars on NFTs. So I guess there are people out there who understand where this anonymous user's boyfriend is coming from. Now, I already lost out on the opportunity to make money during cryptocurrency's rise, but this new trend in NFTs is reminding me why I had apprehensions about cryptocurrencies in the first place. Hey, I like making money just as much as the next guy. But I'm so out of my depth here that I feel like one move in the wrong direction would be a huge mistake for me.
And next up, here are some more stories that are on our radar.
Taiwan's military says it plans to set up 9 anti-ship missile systems at various points along Taiwan's coastline. The cost of the project is expected to hit 166.3 billion NT dollars, or $6 billion US dollars. But the military expects that it will strengthen Taiwan's defenses against any Chinese landing. Both of Taiwan's major parties are mounting a final push to get their supporters to vote in a December 18th referendum. On the ballot are 4 contentious questions. What should be the fate of Taiwan's 4th nuclear power plant? Should Taiwan reinstate a ban on imported pork containing the additive ractopamine? Should a natural gas terminal in Taoyuan be moved to protect an algae reef nearby? And should Taiwan go back to holding referendums like this one on the same day as elections? On December 18th, Taiwan's people will have their say. High-priority groups can now receive a 3rd dose of one of the available COVID-19 vaccines. Frontline medical workers will be the first to receive their jabs. Meanwhile, authorities are trying out all kinds of creative measures to get the rest of Taiwan's population jabbed. Currently, first dose coverage in Taiwan is around 80%, but second dose numbers are lagging behind. To improve them, the central authorities are setting up vaccination stations at markets and department stores, as well as offering prizes to those getting vaccinated.
And we're back in the studio, just like that. Usually during this part of the show, we show you guys a word of the week about a certain question, but because of what I talked about in hashtag, I want to pose to my co-hosts, what would you make an NFT out of? Now, I'm hoping that my segment explained to you sufficiently well what an NFT was. So, Emma, what would you do for an NFT?
Well, I chose a picture of Yushan Jade Mountain at sunrise because that's a place I've been dying to go to for so long. It seems like such a valuable site to me, and I'm really hoping that once COVID clears up more, then I'll get to go hiking all the way up there.
It's a beautiful picture.
And you think it's the most valuable sight to see, so that's actually
it's on the $1,000 bill.
oh, that's right. It's money. Natalie, what would you choose?
Okay, this was a really no-brainer for me. My cat.
Oh,
Isn't that adorable?
Oh, there's Felix.
No, we can
him.
definitely make a digital art out of that. Make it very
He looks
precious.
very comfortable in those white sheets. He looks very at home. For me, I'm going to offer up this NFT without any context.
吃饭了，吃饭了，拿起餐具开动了，五颜六色的营养精灵，一起往嘴巴里上班去。
And I'm sure you guys are confused as to why I chose that video of me eating, but it's got a bit of intrinsic value to me. It was the first time I went out for an extended report on RTI's behalf, and during our downtime, the cameraman Xiao Bai, he took a video of me eating, slowed it down, added some background music, and I thought it was just a fun and whimsical video that I could share with everybody in NFT form.
memorable.
Yeah, whether or not it sells, though, we're going to have to see. Anyway, that's about all the time we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Leslie Liao.
I'm Emma Benack.
And I'm Natalie Tso. And do follow us on social media, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and there's tons of content on all of those platforms. Anyway, guys, until next week, we'll see you around.
Bye.